If you like sewing and surprises, stick around. Hi, my name is Agata. Welcome in Agata's Cottage. Today I want to share with you my make number one for Sew Lucky Jar 25 sewing challenge. If you are not sure what it is, I will pop video, my startup video, somewhere here or here, wherever it's handy. You can click on it and it will take you to the details of the challenge. So this challenge was started by my dear friend Diana at 26 by Diana on Instagram. It's a personal challenge and I absolutely love it. I couldn't wait to share my make with you. It took a little bit longer than I expected to complete it, not because of the pattern or the make. It was just life happens. I lost my sojo in the meantime, but I'm back and I absolutely love it. So if you haven't been here, my first pick was this pattern. So it's new look 6891. And I did mention that I have a fabric in mind and I wanted to make view A. However, I wasn't sure if I have enough fabric to make it because the pattern called for a bit more than I actually had. So the pattern calls for my size 18, for almost 2 yards of fabric. So it's 1.7 meter of fabric. And I had 1.35 roughly. So it's a bit short. I thought, okay, maybe I will need to just shorten the bodice or do something, but I figure out why they are asking for so much fabric. It's because of the bias binding. And I don't mind having a little bit seams here and there on the bias binding. So I did manage to squeeze this blouse out of 1.3 meter of fabric and it's 145 centimeters wide. I had this viscose in my stash maybe 2.5 years. I got it from Beyond the Pink Door when Andrea was still in Ireland, and I absolutely love it. It's just my colors, my everything. So I'm very excited about using this fabric. And I absolutely love the blouse. So the blouse is relatively simple. It's um, 2 pieces for the front, 2 pieces for the back, 2 sleeves, and neckband, like the bias binding for the neckband. I did hack it a little bit, so I didn't want to add drawstrings to the sleeves. I have one blouse with drawstrings, and I did notice that sometimes they like to get into my foot. So I decided to opt for elastic, and I'm very happy about that. They are slightly puffed, and it's way easier to pull them up if I need to. I also decided to switch the front a bit. The front for the view A comes with little loop and a button, and I didn't want that. I wanted a little bit of tie at the front, so I just extended the bias binding, and I took the same length of bias binding as for view C, I think, yeah. And I absolutely love it. If I go with the pattern measurements, I wouldn't be size 18. However, I know I have relatively narrow shoulders. My difference between my high bust and my full bust is over 4 inches. Therefore, I knew that if I will go with size bigger, it will be big everywhere. So I decided to enlist the help of Pattern Fitting Book by Nancy Zieman. This book was highly recommended by Izzy from Dizzy Quilts and Sews, and I cannot say thank you enough to Izzy because I had a blast doing the changes to this pattern using this book. So basically, what I normally do, I do narrow shoulder adjustment, I do the sway back adjustment, and I do FBA. Occasionally, I will change the length. So I read through the whole book and I discovered that you actually should start with changing the hem first, which for me seems like very backward thing. However, Nancy suggests first to pin the things, like both pattern pieces and put on top of you so you see how long it is. So I did that, and I wasn't entirely sure, do I need to change the hem? Therefore, after consideration, I decided to skip that step and just go with the sway back adjustment. So this blouse has seam at the back, which makes doing sway back adjustment way easier. Uh, Originally, when I actually looked at the way how the sway back adjustment is done according to the method, I was like doing this, like how, what, why? And actually, in this moment, Chris was laughing that I look like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory when he was reading something and it was like, why? The next page, oh, that's why. So basically, that was me. And I did the sway back adjustment according to the book, and I love it. I don't think I will ever go back to doing sway back adjustment the normal way because it was so easy. Like, honestly, it was so easy, and you don't need to have a seam at the back to actually do it properly, which is brilliant. So I'm very excited about that. The next step was to do the narrow shoulder adjustment. However, when I pin where the seams will be on the pattern pieces, I decided I don't need narrow shoulder adjustment on this blouse because the shoulders are narrow, and as you can see, they fit perfectly. So I'm very excited about that. It actually normally never happens on the woven fabrics, normally on the woven patterns. Normally I do need to do some kind of narrow shoulder adjustment. So that was very, very good thing. The next thing was to do FBA, so I added 2 inches overall to my bust measurement, and I'm extremely happy with that. So according to the Nancy Zieman book, you add basically half of an inch for each seam, and there's no dart in this blouse, and I think fit is perfect. It's very nice and very cozy, and I absolutely love this fabric. The one thing that I'm gonna change next time, and there will be next time, I'm gonna raise neckline a tiny bit up, and the next time I'm gonna try pleats instead of gathering. I'm not the biggest fan of gathering, and it's just boring. I don't like to do gathering, but I do think that pleats will look nice if I will make it in like very fine viscose. So I'm gonna give it a go next time. So my overall thoughts, pattern is very easy. I highly recommend it for advanced beginners. It's very easy to do. I definitely say you need flowy fabrics. It wouldn't look nice in stiff fabric. It would be very billowy. There's one more change that I did to the pattern. Actually, I did it after I start sewing. So I did the bodice and I attached the sleeves, and I did notice that I have a little bit restrict movements around the armhole here. It was just riding a little bit too much. So I tested it and I graded out the seam allowance. Basically, I went around 4 centimeters with the standard 5/8 of an inch, and then I changed it to the quarter of an inch all the way up to here, and I did it for both armholes, and it solved the problem. I have, as you can see, I have plenty of the range of movement, and it's brilliant. I absolutely love it. So thank you, Diana, for starting this challenge, because I don't think I would get the courage to make this blouse if it wasn't for you. So make number one is out of the way, and as I mentioned, I highly recommend this pattern. It's N6891. It's quite easy to do. Oh, I forgot to mention what I did with the bias binding. So as I mentioned, I decided to squeeze as much as I can from the fabric I had. Therefore, my bias binding is around 1.2 yard long, around 110 centimeters roughly. I actually did in 6 pieces. So I had only narrow remnants left. I have some footage here, so I'm just gonna put some pictures, and I just combined all those little bits to get where I needed to be with the bias binding. And I think it's great way of saving up on the fabric. If you are not entirely sure if you can get your pattern out of the fabric you have, just lay all your pattern pieces. If you have a bias binding, put the bias binding separately and see if you can squeeze in bias binding from various bits and pieces. I still have a little bit of fabric left, so I'm going to make myself a scrunchie or two because I absolutely adore this fabric. So now, time for a surprise. I need to draw another pattern. So, quick reminder, uh, peach color, they are patterns for me, they are relatively easy. Red color is difficult pattern. Blue are patterns for Chris or Alice or Charity. So as mentioned before, March, April are relatively busy for me, so I'm gonna go with easy patterns just to get myself in a swing of things. And I will draw just one random peach pattern. Let's see, we have a peach. Okay, let me read it. So it's M7660. I have no idea what this pattern is, so I'm gonna check it and I will pop the picture here and come back. So McCall's 7660 is a jumper pattern. It has few fun options and I'm very excited to make it. I haven't decided what fabric I'm gonna use yet. I need to have a look through my stash, see what will be suitable, but I'm very excited to give it a go. So what do you think about my blouse? I absolutely love it. Thank you for watching. I hope you will join me in reveal number 2 and draw number 3, hopefully in a week or two. Happy sewing, and don't forget, clean your sewing machine and change your needle. Bye.